The group opens the Colosseum gates that somehow lead into space, hop into their gummy ship, and begin the arduous trek to Alice's Wonderland. I mean, she doesn't own it, she's just a trespasser who came in and made a mess of everything, which gives an all-American feel to it all. Goofy, Sora, and Donald, hey, I mixed it up, begin their Wonderland experience by falling slowly on top of each other down the rabbit hole, which makes me wonder where their ship is parked. They land next to a rabbit in a hurry, going on about how he's late and that the Queen will give him a head for sure, or something like that. If I was late for head, I'd have a spring in my step too, I guess. The group decides to follow the rabbit in hopes of catching a glimpse of this head-giving action, and end up in a bizarre room called the Bizarre Room. At the end of the room, they see the rabbit a lot smaller, going through an equally smaller door. Sora walks over and crouches down in front of it, wondering how he got so small. Suddenly the doorknob chirps up, "No, you're simply too big." He tells them to drink from a bottle on the table without saying what's in it or what will happen, and Sora just up and does it. So ladies, or fellas, if you're thinking about date raping Sora, know that you are basically guaranteed success. Drinking the concoction makes Sora and the rest of them shrink down to size, even though I didn't see Donald or Goofy gulping nothing, so I don't know why they're affected. Now they can fit in the door, but the doorknob is asleep, and nobody wants to be so inconsiderate that they try and wake him up to get places. Instead, after full minutes of searching, they find another route located about 10 feet to the left of the door. Going through this archway leads everyone into a bushy garden full of red and white roses, but there are soldiers made out of playing cards stationed about, and there seems to be a commotion going on. At the far end of the room, there is a judicial court set up, and the White Rabbit announces that Her Majesty the Queen of Hearts is presiding, though not over his dick like we thought. Standing in front of the podium opposite the Queen is a little British girl with blonde hair, who never takes off her apron throughout anything that ever happens, just in case someone calls on her to make an apple pie at some point. The Queen informs her that she is on trial, and Alice, the girl, come on, keep up, is all like, "But why?" The Queen accuses her of assault and the attempted theft of her heart, but like, which one? She's the Queen of Hearts. She probably got so many lying around. Obviously, Alice is like, yeah, I didn't do none of that, but the Queen isn't a fan of being defied. After she announces that Alice should be given head as well, Sora and the others rush in, hoping to score some for themselves. They defend Alice's innocence, even though they don't fucking know. Little girls do some sick, twisted shit in movies. They say they will find evidence of her non-guilt, to which the trial is postponed until they present it. Sora, Goofy, and also Donald leave the court and wander into Lotus Forest, a place where the flowers are all bartering extortionists, and one of them even sells Viagra. Suddenly, a mysterious voice calls out to them, but they can't hear it, because it's all text dialogue. The Cheshire Cat spawns on a stump in front of the group and lets them know the Heartless are the real culprits, as if we couldn't have guessed that obscurely painted riddle. He claims there is a big reward in store for Sora and co. if they find every piece of evidence that proves Alice's non-innocence. But this is a lie, because you can find jack shit and still get the blizzard spell at the end. However many conveniently gift-wrapped boxes of evidence you come across, you can take that many back to the Queen and begin the trial process anew. But the Queen presents her own evidence as well, with a kind of sorcery I'm not sure how it's possible. Sora is allowed to choose only one box, and if it turns out to be a Queen's box, it could have evidence that somehow implicates the three of them as the culprits. Who provided this evidence? Did we get swabbed on our way in here somehow? Did Goofy give them a stool sample? Regardless of the box Sora selects, the Queen gets mad and orders everyone to be given head immediately. But it turns out the people giving the head are the card soldiers, and nobody wants that, so Sora and the group fight them off before they can be subjected to a traumatic experience. After defeating the soldiers, the trio escape back into Lotus Forest, where the Cheshire Cat reappears and tells them where they can find the true culprit of the heart theft, a heartless boss known as the Trickmaster. This monster is a papier-mâché juggler who walks around on its spindly little legs and tries to smash the group to pieces, all while juggling, because a juggler's work is never done, and also never really starts, because who's employing those fuckers anymore? Once Donald, Goofy, and Sora defeat the Trickmaster, they stand in front of a yawning doorknob, whose open jaw reveals a shiny keyhole. Sora's keyblade reacts automatically without its holder's consent and points itself at the keyhole before a thin white beam fires out from the tip and penetrates the hole, locking it shut forever, but not before a strange, colorful piece of plastic pops out from the hole and lands at the group's feet. Donald and Goofy recognize it as a gummy piece, and they decide to hold on to it as their adventures in Wonderland come to a close. Well, that's going to do it for this episode. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, you like, share, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time.